Hey, welcome back, my friend. My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. I was online the other day, and I heard a woman talking about a friend, and she brought up the word mental load, and she kind of went on to complain about men in general and how we don't understand this. And as a guy, I'm going to give you three different perspectives. One from a outsider looking in, two from maybe a friend telling me about their wife. And the third one is if this was my wife and I had the same experience. And the story that this influencer told was she had a friend who was complaining about a weekend where they went to the water park with her husband and their kids, and how exhausted she was and how she almost had no fun whatsoever because she was so tired, so mentally drained because of the mental load. If you're a newly married man, or maybe you just haven't been paying attention, the women in your life, whether they've used these words or not, experience something called a mental load. And I will be very honest, I don't experience the mental load when it comes to my family. And I'll talk about the story they had, but basically what the mental load is, and the reason it's a problem for men in a relationship is, one, most of the time we don't understand what they're saying. We don't comprehend the things that they're thinking about. But the mental load, in the simple sense, is everything that you could possibly think of that you need to think of to operate a family. That's what a woman is thinking about all the time. Things that you would never think to worry about, many women worry about it. Many dangers and concerns and consequences get thought about over and over and dwelled on, and it builds up to this point where you come into this scenario and you don't have that same level of anxiety and worry, and that upsets them because they feel like you're not putting forth the effort. And that's where mental load really goes and tears apart relationships and damages good husbands trying to do the right things, and even in good wives trying to, do the right things and have a productive family. So hopefully I can shed some light on different ways to see it, and maybe give you some tools, techniques, and just so that you can have a great life, a great marriage. So one, what was the story? So the story was husband and wife and the family decided to go to a water park. The husband, basically, according to the friend's friend, shows up on the day of the water park, has a great time, doesn't worry about what the kids are wearing, doesn't worry about sunscreen and all the things. And this makes the wife upset because she is worried about everything. The husband hasn't contributed anything. So in order to understand this, let's. I think that the first one is easy. What did the husband know? And this is speculation. I don't know. I don't know this guy. More than likely, the weekend before, let's call it a Saturday, the husband or the wife said, "Hey, I think I can get a half day of work on Friday. On Saturday, let's go to a water park. We'll get a hotel. I'll get off work early. We'll go to a hotel. On Friday night, we'll get up early. We'll spend the day at the water park. It will be awesome." They both agree that will be great. That's a Saturday. So on Sunday, the wife gets online. She's looking at tickets, and they're expensive. The tickets are a little more than she thought, and the hotel room's a little more than she thought. She starts to worry, I hope we have enough money. I hate the fact that we have to worry about money. I wish I was like my friend who gets to go to Disney every other week, and they never worry about money, and we have to worry about money. This is probably too much. And I would really like to get the drink pass so that we don't have to worry about our kids getting thirsty, but I hate that my kids are going to be drinking soda all day long, and the sugar rush they're going to get, the dye that's in the soda and the Splenda that's in the diet, I heard it gives you cancer, and I don't want my kids to get cancer. This will be bad. Okay, so she buys the tickets, that's a stressor. That's on Sunday. On Monday, she realizes, starts to think, hey, do the kids, do the bathing suits fit? I'm not sure if they fit. I think they did. They fit a couple months ago, but we haven't been swimming since then. Man, I hope they fit. How am I going to get bathing suits? I'm busy all week. When am I going to get to Target to buy a new bathing suit? Hopefully they fit. Where are they? I can't find them. I have to get into the attic and find them. Go tailspin, right? Then she starts to think, does my bathing suit fit? Well, I know it fits, but I just don't like the way I look in it. I feel like I've gained some weight since I've had our third kid. I hope my husband, still finds me attractive. There's probably going to be a lot of young girls there. Do you think he's going to think they're attractive? Does he love me? Is he cheating on me? Is he going to, find the love of his life at the water park and leave me, and I'm going to be destitute and alone? And then she moves on to, well, what are they going to eat? Are we going to pack food? Are we going to have lunch? Well, so-and-so has allergies and they can't eat out. And I don't want to pack lunch, but I don't want them to eat garbage and fried food all day long. So I want them to be healthy. Man, I hope my kids are healthy. I don't want them to get overweight and unhealthy. And it's this snowball. And then and then the guy hasn't thought about anything all week, and it's Friday. He gets a half day off work. He comes home and, hey, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Well, she's been thinking about all the things that she has to pack in the car and all the, the problems that may or may not occur. And so she get in the car and she's already, maybe not the limit of mental load, but she's already feeling it. She's feeling that anxiety and that worry. And so she gets in the car and she shuts down. She gets on her phone and she plays Angry Birds for the 3-hour ride to the hotel. The husband thinks, oh, she's just me tired. She's not talking much. That's okay. He's enjoying listening to a great podcast, probably this one. And get to the hotel and, the kids go to bed. They stay, maybe they run around a little bit. They wake up the next morning. Kids all have bathing suits that fit because the mom went out and bought them that week, and they have a great time. And they have good food and great memories. And they get in the car and they drive home. And the kids go to bed and the husband's thinking, what would make this night even better? If maybe I get lucky tonight. So he starts to put the moves on his wife, and that's when she lays it on him. She's like, are you serious? You think I've had the energy for that? And he's thinking, yeah, we just sat by the pool all day. We didn't, it wasn't like we were, running a marathon. She's like, I can't believe it. He's like, you did nothing this week. I did everything. You have no idea what it's like to have the mental load. And that's the first time she throws that word out there, the mental load. He's talking in his mind, in his defense, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought we just got in a car, drove to the water park, had fun, came back, and I didn't realize there was anything else to do. That is the mental load. That is the thing that happens to many of our wives. And so I'm going to give you 2 criteria. One of those is that women are default worry. And that's just something as a man you need to understand. I can see it in my 15-year-old. I was recently, I was down in South America for my sister-in-law's wedding. And my wife told me, hey, can you make sure you bring, and it's funny because I have no idea what it was, but I remember she asked me to bring something. And as we're walking out the door, my 15-year-old daughter says, Dad, do you have the thing? She had the mental load to think mom said to bring this and I'm going to worry about it. I think it's a very natural thing. If you think of us as hunter-gatherers, man, we went out into the woods. We're going to go kill something and bring it back. We left the women to gather. And a woman who's spread out from her group is gathering, she hears something in the woods, she has to assume it's danger and run away from it, get away from it. Where a guy hears something and thinks maybe that's prey. Maybe can I attack it and kill it and we can eat it. I think that's built into us. Men don't have that anxiety. Women have a built-in default worry. And when it comes to the mental load, a lot of it is just their natural tendency to default worry. We're going to a water park. Can my kids swim? Because I don't want them to die. That is a very motherly instinct. Now, as the dad, you might logically go, yeah, they literally swim all the time. They haven't had to wear a life jacket in 4 years, but that doesn't mean that her worry is wrong or that your lack of worry is wrong. It's just that there's difference. And I think that's where the mental load is understandable. And if your wife is experiencing that, at the end of this, I'm going to give you some tips to help you work through that and maybe go a little bit above so that she doesn't feel like she's on her own and you can be that awesome husband. And that's the one thing. And I hope that's where your wife is at. Because the other way, and this is unfortunate, is I don't know the right words for it, but I heard it said weaponized anxiety. A woman, a men could do this too, but we're talking about ladies. A wife could have control problems where she needs to control everything. She needs to control you, the kids, the chores, everything. And she uses the anxiety of not being able to control some things to punish you. She punishes you when you don't fold the clothes the right way. She punishes you when you don't load the dishwasher the right way. And when I say punishes, I just mean she holds it against you that she feels like she has to do everything because she can't give the control away. And I think that's a toxic behavior that my way is the right way. And because you've tried to do it and I've beat you up over it, I'm no longer going to let you do it. And because I won't let you do it, you being the husband saying, I don't want this fight. I don't want this argument. Fine. I'm stepping back. I'm not planning anything. I'm not folding clothes. I'm not putting away the dishes. And she does all of it. So then she legitimately does have a higher mental load because she's doing everything because she has a toxic level of anxiety and control, and she's put that on you. And that might be the case. And so I have 3 viewpoints from the outside in. I don't know this lady. I don't know this man. That's my thought. I'm like, this lady, she, really, bro, we went to the water park. Get your bathing suit on, go jump in the water, have some good times, eat a hamburger, get a Slurpee, call it good. No worry is needed. That's from the outside. If it's a buddy, I might talk about it. Like, is your wife normally like that? No, she's not normally that. Like, something's going on. There's other worries, there's concerns. And then the third one, and I think this is important because one, if this is just the natural worrying state of a woman, or even if it is, she's using it as a weapon of control. I want you to ask yourself this question. If there's something you could do that could help with, whether it's being a toxic trait or just a natural, guys are different than girls. If you could reject average and be the better husband, to be the better man, would you do it? Is it worth it? And I think that's really important for us to answer that question, because I think it is. I think that even though there's times where we're not really wrong, like I can almost guarantee that guy wasn't trying to be a jerk and not help his wife plan the week. He just didn't think there was anything to plan because he doesn't have that level of worry or anxiety as a guy, especially if you're a young husband, and you're just getting into kids where you're having to do things and it's more of, teamwork. You have to plan things and put things on a calendar. You need to help take the mental load off your wife. I think that's one of our jobs. If you love your wife and you said for richer or for poorer, for better or for worse, if you said those words, my dad's a marriage counselor, and he said, I wish they would add that I would love you today, and I love the person I marry today, and I love the person you become in 10 years, because that's really what it's about. It's becoming and loving that new person, that pretty 20-year-old that you married, that's super in shape, super into health, who has had 3 kids and is now 30 or 40 and has not in the same shape and has more stress and all these things. That's the person you married at 20. They've just changed. So you need to love them. So I'm challenging you, even if it's not logical, even if it's toxic, there are things that you could do to remove, or at least make the attempt to remove or lessen the toxic load on your wife. So let's use an analogy or a story. Let's break this guy. What could he have done differently to help remove the toxic load from his wife? So you and your wife, you decide, hey, we're going to the water park. It's a Saturday. Control the controllables. Can you for sure do things that will take something off her plate? Could you book the tickets? Could you get online, find a hotel room, book the hotel room, get the tickets to the water park, and take that off the plate? If you can, then do it. Now, if it's toxic control, toxic anxiety, she might not let you do that because you're going to get it wrong, because last time you got it wrong, you're going to get the wrong room, the wrong hotel at the wrong time. There might be that, but at least offer. And if you know you can, do it. But this is where it's important. Your wife needs to know the details. And I fail at this all the time. Hey, can you take care of it? Yeah. And I've done it. I've totally taken care of it. And then, well, what are we doing? Oh, it's all taken care of. She needs to know. So a couple of ways to make this easy and automatic. Me and my wife have a shared calendar. When I do something and buy something online, she sees it if it's a scheduled date. To my detriment, I tried to surprise her with a trip to Las Vegas. I booked the tickets and I forgot to not have it go in my Google Calendar. And she goes, hey, are you going to Las Vegas? I said, yeah. She's like, what for? I'm like, well, I was going to surprise you, but I forgot that it linked up. That is really helpful. It gives, the details, when you're going to be there, how long you're going to be there. Tell them, hey, I booked the tickets. We check in at 4. This is our room number. It's connected to the water park. I got the all day pass for the water park. It takes away the worry of her having to book it. It takes away the financial worry. If you're a 1-income household and she's a stay-at-home mom, she might not have a full grasp on how much money you're making. Take that off the plate. So, but then communicate. You have to communicate. That's the part that I mess up. And if you're like me, you mess that up. You do something, but you don't communicate. So you communicate it. It's taken care of. All right. Let's fast forward to Monday. Monday, you're going to work. You're talking about your week. Hey, I know we got this trip planned. I got Friday afternoon off. Is there anything I can do to help you this week to take something off your plate? Put it out there, because you aren't going to be the person, at least I'm not going to be the person that's thinking about the bathing suits that don't fit, if with sunscreen is expired, what the food situation is going to be like. If there's gas, gas in the car, I might think about that. I probably wouldn't. If the oil changed, I think that's a guy thing. But ask, is there anything that I can do to help you get the kids ready? And she might say, yes, can we do this, this, or this? Awesome. Now on Wednesday, be proactive. Hey, that trip's coming up. I'm really excited to see you. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. You're asking your wife, hey, could you make a shared list? Me and my wife, we both have iPhones. We have a shared notes app where she puts a to-do list and I can see it. I can check things off. Ask, hey, could you put a list of everything that needs to happen before Friday so I can see if there's anything I could do? Because you asking might not be enough. And then you asking her to write it down maybe will help her think through it so there's not this mad rush on Friday to make everything happen. And then whatever you can do, check it off the list. Take care of it. Friday, you get home. One of the things is very frustrating to me is when we're going on vacation and my wife is in a bad mood because we're going on vacation. I do struggle with that. Like, why? But they're stressed because of all the things. So when you get home, I just put my brain in vacation mode and think there's nothing that can happen that's bad right now because I'm on vacation. We can't be late because we're on vacation. We can't, if it takes 2 hours to get out the door, I'm not going to rush. If your wife feels rushed and hurried, put that out there. Like, hey, listen, I want to help you. You tell me exactly what you need to do and you need my help with, and we will do it. But I'm already on vacation and I'm happy just to spend time with you. Get to the park, have fun, get home that night. Maybe you'll get lucky because she's stress-free and life is great. That's a possibility. Or she might still have I have this mental load that you didn't help, blah, 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 and this is where maybe it's towards that toxic anxiety, or maybe it's just their natural worry and they can't see what you're doing is actually helpful. Again, it'd be so easy to go, are you serious? I bought the tickets. I asked 3 times throughout the week. Don't do it. That's not going to help. So what you say is, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Looking back on the week, what could I have done different? And if you really put all the effort in, she's going to hopefully not have anything to say and realize that maybe she's making emotional statements and not logical statements. But if she's still upset, she's still mad, you did everything you could to be a good husband, a good father, and a good leader. And you can only control you. And to me, that gives me peace. Did I do everything I possibly could to make this right, to make it easy for my wife, who I pledged to love for better or for worse? If I did that, I did my job and I can't control the outcome. I think that's so important in all relationships. I think you should be going above and beyond. I think you should reject the average of I'm just going to complain about my wife and call her crazy. Don't fall into that. Be above average. Reject the normal. Reject what your buddies at work would say when their wife is acting that way. Be better. And I think if you have any kind of healthy relationship, steady practices like that, steady just always being there for them, always trying to help, it pays off. I think you can have a great relationship that can go away. She can realize that, hey, you know what? This guy knows what he's doing. He's competent. I can let him fold the dishes. Or I guess you can't fold the dishes. I can let him fold the laundry. I can let him put away the dishes. It takes some of the mental load away. And that makes for a happy, loving wife that's easy to be around. And I know that's what you want. I know that's what she wants. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. My name is Danny Dumas, and I will talk to you later. Bye.